Hi there, and welcome to She Spice. Hello, people. Hollywood is not yet presenting a show, and this time it's like the roles have done a total 180. On the off chance that you've been tuned in, you'd realize that Katt Williams made a splash half a month prior, breaking the web with a hazardous meeting where he got straight to the point, getting down on heavyweights like Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart over the top and a pack. All the more truly, he circulated out all the grimy clothing and the meeting great. It's currently timed over an astounding 50 million perspectives on YouTube. No doubt that is the way huge it was. However, here's the contort. Now it seems that Feline Williams may be the one in steaming hot water. The word on the road is that, in all honesty, Dave Chappelle is supposedly naming a feline opposer. Rumors from far and wide suggest that Chappelle is evidently stopping to talk with Will Williams, blaming him for double-crossing Dark Comet. It resembles No One's Protected, and the spotlight can swing toward any path, appearing as though it may very well be Feline Williams. Time to explore the show. Currently, you're presumably thinking about how precisely Katt Williams apparently sells out his kindred dark jokesters. The subtleties are unfolding, and it's transforming into a remarkable Hollywood adventure. We should get into everything so Dave Chappelle isn't keeping down with regards to answering Katt Williams' viral meeting on Club Shay. Dave hit up Manger at the Hollywood Comedy on a Friday night and spilled some serious tea about Feline's meeting. Jokes aside, Dave's not a tiny bit of a legend. He's tremendously annoyed, and you can experience the intensity in his stand-up set. His principal Feline proceeded to discharge shots at individual dark comics. Dave was like he ethered, and he expressed nothing about any of these white young men. None of these white young men have capabilities like that. Dave's bringing up the fact that in the realm of satire, he's not seeing white humorists tear each other apart like Feline did with his own local area. Dave got straight to the point, recommending that hurt individuals hurt individuals. However, he likewise took ownership of being a piece that harmed himself, the genuine kicker. Dave's not over here, tossing shade at his kindred comics regardless of his own battles. And you understand what he has to say. Why pursue the dark entertainers when there's an entire framework impacting everything it resembles Dave is saying? Assuming that you will get down to Hollywood's power structure, don't simply focus on the mannequin, pursue the ones calling the shots. Discuss the organizers, not the plant. Dave's dropping truth bombs underlining that any genuine discussion about power in the media outlet necessitates to incorporate discussing the impact of white people in the event that you're significant about stirring up the room and tending to industry issues. You start at the top, at the big enchiladas. Pursuing your companions could make you all the rage. However, to roll out genuine improvement, you must handle the foundation of the issue, all ideal for those who've been hiding away. We should jump it to what Katt Williams spilled about these comics and check whether he truly went excessively far. First up on the hit rundown is, as a matter of fact, Steve Harvey. We should rewind the clock to December 2008 when Steve Harvey and Feline Williams wound up in the titles. These two haven't precisely been dearest friends for more than 10 years. And there's a story behind it. So Feline Williams chose to get down on Steve Harvey just before a Christmas season show, and things got wild. Picture this: Jamie X, who was a radio personality at the time, tosses conceal in with the general mishmash by playing a clasp of Williams dissing Steve Harvey. Feline on the telephone goes on a tirade saying, "I need to apologize for what will happen," indicating their impending joint parody gig. Yet here's the kicker: he drops the bomb, lets Steve know that once he stirs things up around town, it's down over for him as the ruler of satire. Steve Harvey then, at that point, brings in, bewildered by the entire circumstance, he tells Jamie and the group, "I've forever been cool with Feline," making sense of that back in law. He didn't have the foggiest idea who Katt Williams was. Envision that: Steve Harvey asking whoever Feline Williams is, "Call me." So Katt Williams didn't keep down in the new meeting, laying into Steve Harvey. Feline straight up got down on Steve for apparently being envious of Bernie Mac spilling the tea on their years-long. As per Feline, Bernie felt Steve was attempting to screw with his film jobs in any event. Endeavoring to grab a job in C's 11, making significant strain. Feline proceeded to guarantee that Steve, in an appearance on Club, she attempted to act all casual about not having any desire to be a film star. However, as per Feline, Steve was subtly attempting to rival Bernie Mac for film jobs. And that is not all. Feline additionally blamed Steve for taking material from another joke artist, Imprint Curry, and supposedly lying about being destitute, as would be natural for Feline, the very Steve that Went to go watch Imprint Curry do his entire sitcom and afterward took everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he's the chief wearing a suit and shaking a high-top blur, making all people of color believe he has the best setup in the business, and it's a man unit, not the genuine. Article: Go watch Imprint Curry do his entire sitcom and afterward take all that Imprint Curry had. It's the same that despised on Bernie with this equivalent thing. I would have rather not been a film. Saint, no. You were unable to be a famous actor. Felice likewise called Steve out for probably lying about being destitute, saying that is my story, not his story. Steve Harvey was never destitute when Mark C. Mutt visited with him quite a while back. He was making $3,000 a show in real money and completing 5 shows per week. They simply recounted the narratives, but Feline didn't stop there, plunging into Steve's conjugal history, guaranteeing Steve that it was his most memorable spouse who got him where he is, then changing everything around with the following wife, who has a similar outlook as a man. Feline scrutinized Steve's validity and legitimacy, particularly with regards to professing to be the ruler of parody. He even spilled that he was offered the opportunity to be the 4th Lord of Satire, yet turned it down in view of how Steve purportedly treated Bernie Mac. Feline said on the grounds that the entire time Bernie was here, you were behaving like you were more amusing than him. You stopped it. That man was more entertaining than all of you. Feline's not keeping down calling Steve out on his cases and keeping it genuine about how satire functions. This resembles Steve Harvey telling individuals he used to be destitute. This is my story. That is not his story. Steve Harvey was rarely destitute. Yet hold up, there's another side to this cat. William Adventure could not simply be blowing smoke. Think about who's evidently backing him up. In all honesty, Imprint Curry has no doubt that is correct. Imprint Curry's name is in the blend. So here's the scoop. Entertainers truly could do without it when somebody swipes their jokes and thinks about who's gotten on some unacceptable side of many amusing people. That's right. Our man Steve Harvey in the crazy universe of showbiz, particularly satire things, can get untidy genuine fast celebs getting each other's specialty, or for this situation directly uptaking jokes. It resembles a parody. Minefield Imprint Curry is making some commotion, putting Steve Harvey on impact for purportedly lifting his material on an exceptionally open stage. Imprint Curry, the comic who shaken the business almost immediately, is pointing fingers at Steve Harvey, guaranteeing Harvey's not the stand-up fellow his image portrays him as per Curry's spill. Steve Harvey's parody achievement probably won't have been basically as smooth as he persuaded us to think like his expression. Hello, those things made you love. Steve Harvey probably won't have all come from the man himself. Okay, so in the diversion, business things can get a bit fluffy, right? I mean, claims and shows are basically essential for the bundle. Yet here's what Steve Harvey isn't precisely new to. Throughout the long term, he's ended up in a knot of comparative issues presently involving promotion. Imprint Curry's late cases on the blend, and it's like, hold up, is Steve Harvey not the perfect holistic mentor we as a whole suspected he was? We may be nearing the very edge of revealing a cut of his example of overcoming adversity that didn't exactly make it into his smash hit book ordinarily, while somebody's tossing allegations around this on the grounds that they're not precisely sitting on top of the achievement mountain, right? Well, that is not the situation with Imprint Curry, and that's keeping this entire Steve Harvey show in the titles. It's not your regular situation. Imprint Curry isn't your typical informer, harking back to the 90s while turning into a star that resembled stirring things up around town. Imprint was experiencing the fantasy that began in stand-up. Globe-jogged, pressed-out satire detects all the way now. He has focused on a few big cheeses in the diversion game, calling them out as only joke-taking fakes. And think about who's at the center of attention. First, Steve Harvey, so in 2 or 3 late visits, Imprint let the cat out of the bag, guaranteeing that Steve Harvey directly reused his material for jokes on his shows. And this is definitely not another Imprint's been tossing conceal about Steve lifting his jokes a long time ago when on Har. Vay's NBC syndicated program. Okay, so there's this hazardous video and it has Steve Harvey and Imprint Curry messed up in some serious parody Imprints, guaranteeing that Steve, who used to have minimal big cheeses on NBC, swiped not one, however 2 of his joke, and get this, Imprint says. He previously stood up to Steve about it in the past, yet the supposed joke burglary continued happening thing with Steve Harvey is that he utilized my material on the to his foundation, no doubt after I conversed. With him, I saw him at DJ. I went up, what's more, conversed with him. I said, man, you're utilizing my material now. Mark, who's 62, spilled the tea to TMZ, saying that Steve jacked his Halloween bit an individual tale about growing up. However, Steve wasn't having any of it. He directly denied the allegations, saying Imprint lacked the ability to name the probably taken joke. Things got warmed up genuine fast, with Steve advising Imprint to find some useful tasks to fulfill and get a vocation. Imprint Curry says that you're actually taking his jokes. Hello, man. Pay attention to me. No doubt, now that I'm becoming ill from this, you better believe it. Imprint Curry needs to grow up. Steve went on a tirade, saying he hasn't taken a joke in 35 years and thought for even a moment to stamp. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.